We're just gonna go. We're gonna go with you guys tonight. Obviously, like I said, we started late, so apologize. I'm not gonna wait any longer, so we'll just roll with who's here. And so we're gonna go through your top 10 list from this last week. So John, I just saw your message come through. So you've got somebody that's ready for a three-way. Here, John, let me unmute you. Hang on one
I
second.
got you.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah. I got one person that's Shuri, who is wanting a three-way.
Okay.
Just lots of answers. I mean, her background, she she was a 31
Okay.
and pretty high up in 31, and she they they closed their doors.
Okay.
So she had, I mean, a lot of questions, but
So who
number
are you using for a third party validation now, currently? Who on your team or upline are you using for third party?
nobody.
Whose team are you on?
I think I'm on your team.
Well, yes, everybody is, but
I
so who
honestly, I'm not sure on that.
okay,
I
who personally signed you up?
I thought that it was you, but
Okay, well I
somewhere or somebody.
yeah, I put you yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
So
just double check,
honestly, yeah.
but you've got John, you have my number, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So if let's when you do these exposures, get me on the phone then when it happens.
Okay.
And whenever you're doing them, just shoot me a text and let me know, hey, I'm starting a call, or I've got one scheduled at 1 or 2 or 5 or tonight. Like I have people still I'm texting that we're on the Zoom from tonight. So just tell me, hey, I've got two scheduled for tonight's Zoom. So I'll be watching for your calls or your texts,
Okay.
and I can help you. And then also I'll find out who else is above you that could help do three ways, because there's going to be some more people that you can use as well. But you've got my
Right.
number, so feel free to use it. You can easily text me or let me know. But the main thing is when you expose them, getting them straight on the phone immediately, because literally within 24 hours
Sure.
they're
Yeah.
already
Oh.
forgetting half of what they heard.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Or and I mean, she's making compare. A lot of it is she's making comparison to where she came from,
sure.
and there is no
And I can
comparison.
answer I can answer those questions. I can go
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah.
Um,
The other one, well, I was like, I unfortunately I was scrambling for a lot of them today, so it was a bad day to find people. But
okay.
Tracy, I did get a hold of her. Uh,
Okay.
hers was through Messenger,
Okay.
um, and so invited. I didn't see her on the list on that. She wasn't sure if she could or not. She was checking into it, but
Okay.
those were the two main ones.
All right. And so you've been under the weather, so you'll make more calls this week before
Yeah,
Wednesday. Okay. And then
yeah,
just text me and let me know when you're doing an exposure. I don't care when it is, what time zone or whatever. Just shoot me a text and I'll be glad to help you with the three ways. And then
sure.
I'm gonna make a note. I'm gonna get you connected to some more people that can also help. But I'll be your main point of contact for now. So
It
just
did.
let me know.
I did totally agree. Your whole face to face thing or whole phone call, even compared to text, because this Tracy, I mean, I have very good uh, rapport with her,
Okay.
and I know if it was a phone call, it would have been, way different than just the messenger, because of course, they're all busy and everything, but it's easy, it's just so much, it's easy to, oh yeah, something come up, I couldn't make it, so yeah,
Okay.
I
All right. Okay, cool. Well, I'll be looking forward to your update for Wednesday. Ryan, let's hit your list real quick. You want to tell me a little bit about your calls?
Yeah, they've went okay. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Um, it's went okay. A little frustrated tonight. I thought I was gonna have a couple people on the call tonight, but that did not work out. So back
Um,
to the drawing board.
okay, so who was confirmed for tonight, and walk me through how those calls went. Let just kind of give me an overview of those.
Between Ron Head and I, we had um, invited a couple of old coaches that we know.
Uh-huh.
And I had talked to him on the phone. He was actually at number 6, Tom. He
Okay.
was a he was a big guy in Zija and pretty successful at Zija.
Okay.
And I don't believe he's still in it any longer. I think it's kind of went by the wayside. But
Well, you put IE. So was he exposed or was he not exposed?
yes, he was. I'd talked to him a couple weeks ago and then had sent him a couple messages, and he's kind of ghosted on me.
Okay.
So Ron reached out to him, and unfortunately, he when he called him back, he was driving the bus and couldn't answer, so he returned his call and
Okay.
hasn't got back in touch with him yet.
Okay. So who was supposed to be on the call tonight?
Well, we were hoping Tom was going to be,
Yeah,
and
but
then
who, but did he tell you he was going to be on there?
no, I never got.
Well, so real quick. So because this is a confidence factor, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, I think one of the things that's important is if somebody didn't tell you I'm going to be on the call tonight at 8 o'clock, that's not an invite. I mean,
Right, I
because
got you.
it's kind
Okay.
of like saying, look at it this way. We're all guys here on this call, so look at it this way. If you just implied that you were asking a girl out, like to go to dinner or a movie, and you just thought she was going to show up randomly at whatever restaurant or whatever movie or whatever concert it was, but you didn't actually ever ask her and she didn't actually ever tell you, well, that's not a date. I mean, she's not going to just like
True.
miraculously show up. So part of the thing is that when you say someone's invited, that needs to be like hard and solid, like invited. Because here's the thing, mentally, you want to get good at firming people up. So if he wasn't invited, then he wasn't supposed to be there tonight because he didn't even tell you he was going to be there tonight. So I don't know, honestly, I mean, why you would have expected him to show up tonight because he didn't tell you that he was. So
Gotcha.
take that off the list because that's
Okay.
not an invite. You know what I'm saying? So we want to keep our stats and we want to know what we're doing so we can improve on whatever component of the business we need to. See, we can't really look at the areas of opportunity for us until we have some actual data, until we have some actual stats. And so you can't put somebody on the invite list that didn't tell you they were going to be there tonight, right? Because that's not an invite. You know, it's just like a date is not a date. If she didn't tell you, you didn't ask her, and she didn't tell you she was going to be there, you're not going to show up at the movies hoping that she just guessed. You know, that's not going to go well. You know, you're going to
Gotcha.
have a really, really sad dating ratio and relationship situation if that's how you go through it. So we got to look at the business from a like a CEO level to look at what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what areas we can improve on. And so looking at it from that, so let's step back. So who on the list of 10 did you personally talk to and they told you, yes, I'll be there at 8 o'clock for tonight's call?
Well, I guess from that standpoint, I guess none.
Okay. So that's okay because that means that you're 100% because you didn't have anybody scheduled tonight. So instead of saying, well, I was supposed to have a couple people but nobody showed up. No, you didn't because you didn't have anybody scheduled. So you're at 100%. But what needs to happen is you've got to get better at pinning people down and getting them to say yes to the time. And it goes back to one of the things we talked about last week, which is when you get them on the phone, if they give you an excuse, whatever that excuse is, if you let them off or don't follow up and make sure that they get on, then now whatever that was is more important than anything you're ever going to tell them. Okay. So that means that when you get somebody on the phone, you need to lock them down at a time when you get them on the phone because you can't get in this business of calling the same, like you're already chasing this guy. Like, so honestly, my advice, I would take Tom off your list because
Okay.
here's the thing. When you and Ron stop calling Tom, he's going to be like, well, what happened to those guys? And he's going to look and see what you're doing. He's going to look and see what Ron's doing. And then he'll come back around. Okay. He gets it. He knows the drill. He's not a stranger to the business. He knows. So he
Right.
knows he's ducking you. He knows y'all are looking for him and that y'all are wanting to talk to him. And if he's got sense, he'll get back to you. But he needs to come off your list because if I see Tom's name every time we do this exercise, he's never going to be an invite because I don't personally think he's going to show up. And he hasn't even told you he's going to. So he needs to come off the list because then when you're making your calls, you need to look at your efficiency. Ryan, what sport do you coach?
I've coached football.
Okay. So think about it like your stats in football, right? Like the same kind of thing. Like when you're making the calls, I tell people to expect, you want to make about 5 calls to every one appointment, right? So that means that if you want to get 2 of these people exposed before Wednesday, you're going to need to call all 10 of them. And I would take Tom off the list. And if there's anybody else that's ducking you or that you've already tried to expose or you've already shown them and they're still on the list, I would take them off because once again, you've got to get good at sorting. So you've got to go through the 10 and call all 10. And if they're ducking you or dodging you or not answering, they should just come off the list.
Okay.
And then you need to keep adding to the list. So what I do personally is I have my list with me all the time. And I add names to it and I tear sheets out and I make notes and I go through it and I have this same list. Okay. This is a newer binder for me, but I have the same list on my phone. So if I call someone or I'm inviting someone and they're not responding or answering, they come off my list and then I replace them with somebody else. So I'm constantly replacing the 10 so that every time I get on the phone and make 10 calls, I should be getting 2 exposures. I should be getting 2 appointments set up. So if I'm not replacing those names, I'm keeping the Toms of the world on the list. You're not going to get 2 exposures from calling 10 because your list is bad, right? So it's the same thing as basically assuming people are going to get on the call, but they never told you they were. So you've got to get good at watching your numbers and tracking your calls. So I keep call logs. When I go through it, I make notes. I make little hash marks on my binder when I call them. But the thing is when I leave a message for somebody or I call them, I'm so excited and so confident and so enthusiastic that everybody pretty much drops whatever they're doing and gets on a meeting or Zoom or video with me. I don't do a pitch for anyone. I do the same thing that I tell you guys. I invite people to the Zooms. I invite people to watch the video. When I will have them watch the video, I set an appointment. So if I can't pin them down and get them on a live Zoom, I get them on a video and I don't give them the video until it's time for them to watch it. So I don't send the link out. So I stay in control of the information. But if I get somebody on the phone, they're going to listen to what I have to say. Why? Because of my expectations, my confidence, my expectations, because I know if I get them on the phone and I'm excited and I'm enthusiastic and I tell them it's important and that this could change their life and that they need to see this, it's critical, it matters, their opinion matters to me, whatever it is that you say, I make them understand that this is like once in a lifetime because that's the way I come across. So when I get them on the phone, I'm better at 5 for 1. If I make 5 calls and I actually talk to 5 people, I'm probably going to get 2 or 3 or 4, right? Because of my attitude. But it started 20 years ago with 5 to 1, right? That's pretty much normal. So if your list is bad, then you can't make 10 calls. Then you're constantly going through your phone and you're fiddling around and you're trying to find names. But if that 10 list is solid all the time, you've got 10 good names. And if there's a Tom on the list, you're taking them off and replacing it with somebody else. That way your list is fresh and it's not stale. And that way, when you call through your 10, you should get 2 every time. And if there's somebody who's ducking you or dodging you or not responding, take them off. Replace them with somebody else. And that way you can monitor your efficiency and you can see your numbers. So every time you make your 10, you should get 2. And if you're not doing that, you're doing something wrong, right? Okay. And so right now in this scenario, the list is not good because you've got people on there that you've already tried to talk to, that you've already tried to expose, that are already ducking you. You got to take them off. Okay. So just work on your 10. Okay. And John, you need to work on your calls. So it sounds like, Ryan is making the calls, but maybe calling some of the wrong people or trying to call the same people over and over, and you need to just move on. Those guys like Tom will come back around. What I tell everybody is that they're watching. So Tom is watching you. He's watching Ron. He knows y'all are doing something. Y'all have already talked to him. He knows what's up. So he's going to be watching your Facebook. He's going to be watching your stories. He's going to be seeing what y'all are up to. And as soon as he sees you in Vegas, as soon as he sees you ranking up, as soon as he sees Ron ranking up, he'll come around, he'll roam back, and he'll come. Some of these people are going to be like stray cats, right? You may feed them and they show up for a little while. Maybe they come back around because they remembered there was some food out there before. Okay. But you got to keep that list of 10 fresh so that when you make those 10 calls, you can be productive with them. Okay.
Okay. Would you tell me to take off my number one that we talked about last time, Greg? We haven't been able to connect yet. He's my Eco Lab guy.
Oh, well, I mean, if he's responsive, I wouldn't take him off. But remember, guys like him that are like sea level, super busy, doesn't need the money. It's going to be hard to move the needle on some of those guys. That's why I mentioned the wife thing.
Yeah,
But
and that's something we had talked about.
yeah, yeah,
I just haven't been able to connect with him yet today.
I
It was
wouldn't
one of
take
those
him
things.
off.
I
I'm
waited
go
I
ahead.
waited until like 7:30 to try to invite
Well,
him
he
on
was probably
tonight.
watching the Masters tonight. I
Yeah,
mean, a
so
lot of your guys probably because what today was, I mean, it was
yeah,
probably the best final round that I remember since I've been watching the Masters. So, I mean, I was watching it. So, I mean, the chances are he was watching the golf tournament. And I mean, I don't know, he could have been drinking. I mean, I mean, waiting until the night of, I mean, some of these people we probably should have made calls before Sunday. I mean, Sunday for guys and a lot of your coaches, I mean, these are sports guys. They were watching the golf tournament today. They weren't taking any calls. They weren't answering the phone. And half of them probably weren't in any shape to be on a call at 8 o'clock after watching golf all day. So, I mean, I'm sure some of my friends weren't. So,
yeah.
I wouldn't worry about that. I just think if you've had somebody who's had a shot and they've blown you off or not responded or been unresponsive, those are the ones you need to take off because you
Okay.
need to keep your list fresh. But I'm not looking for reasons to take people off. I'm just also being realistic. And the other
Right.
thing is you might need to put an alternate name next to Greg. I mean, he
Okay.
still could be like a good contact and we could get him in at some point, but I already told you last week I thought he was going to be hard to connect with. Guys like that are busy. That's why I immediately asked about the wife, because if he thought, oh, this is something my wife could do, but it's hard to broach that until you actually can expose him, because then you're exposing and not inviting. So that's a delicate balance. I don't want to talk about that until I expose him, because then he's going to start asking, well, what is it? Tell me more. No, I can't. I got to have you see it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you don't want to broach that now, but that's why I was already asking that, because I was already afraid of that last week. That's why I told you.
Okay.
So I wouldn't sweat that one, but I would have an alternate. If you have somebody that's hard to reach on your list, replace them, have a name next to them. So when you're making your calls, you can still call 10 good people that you could
Okay.
potentially set up. And you
Yeah.
could replace them. I mean, I start at the A's in my phone constantly. I go through my Facebook, I go through my Instagram, I go through my phone. I'm constantly working on this. I got people still messaging from the call tonight. So, I would, like I said, I would just keep the list fresh. That's the
Okay.
most important thing. I wouldn't be looking for reasons to take people off the list, but I think Tom, he knows the drill. He knows what's going on. He knows where you're at. When he's ready, he'll come looking. He's watching you. So I always
Okay.
tell everybody the people that tell you no or that don't listen, they're watching, and so they're going to see if you're going to stick with it and how committed you are. So he's watching. I promise you, he's filed it. He's watching to see what you and Ron do.
Okay. And
Okay.
I have retooled the list. I took a couple people off already
Good.
that just flat told me no.
Yeah, it's fine. Sorting.
Yep.
Sorting, not selling. It's fine. Did they tell you no on the invite or after you exposed them?
Well, he was a former player of mine. Kid's got 16,000 followers on TikTok, entrepreneur kind of guy. He just basically told me that's just not my gig. I'm a service business guy. Just
Well,
flat
how
out
did you
not
expose
interested.
him? What did he see?
He wouldn't, I mean, I think he opened the video. Um, we would kind of set a time that he was going to watch it and then I was going to call him back. And then he texted me back and he said, hey, I got it to open. Just in full disclosure, I turned it off. It's just not my thing. I don't travel, blah, blah, blah.
He's not into sports either, sports or entertainment or music.
He wouldn't even get that far with it. I mean, he
Well, I
shut me
mean,
down
so I
immediately.
mean, that's a phone call I at least want to take. I mean, if somebody doesn't, I mean, I would at least say, hey, look, I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, did you have another gig or something where for the next 15 minutes you're busy? I mean, this could be something that you don't even realize that could change your life. I mean, I would at least make sure he understands what he's turning his nose up to. I mean, if you have a relationship with him, there's no reason to at least call him out and be like, oh, so I don't deserve 15 minutes of your time, for coaching you and helping you and mentoring you. I mean,
Well,
you don't even
that
know
was
what's
the
on
really
you.
frustrating part, and I was really taken back by it, to be
Yeah.
honest. And
I mean, look, I wouldn't take it personal, but I would follow up. I mean, I would say it's 15 minutes of your time. I mean, if you're busy, then you shouldn't have told me you had 15 minutes. You don't even know what's on the rest of the video.
right, I think he watched like 30 seconds of it as of what I have a feeling, and saw it was travel and just checked out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I
So
said, I wouldn't lose sleep over it, but I would still try to follow up and be like, it's 15 minutes. Leave your, take your wallet and hide it in a bowl. I don't need your money. Like you should look at this. So,
yeah,
and
he's he's one I was planning on coming back to whenever I got back home. He's from my hometown, and I'm
okay.
gonna try to meet with him in person and go about it that way.
Okay. Terry, I see you popped on. Were you on the calls last week? Do you have an update on your top 10 list? If not, we're gonna wrap things up.
No, hi, yeah, hi, Wes, and everyone. No, I'm just joining in.
Okay,
I
perfect.
want to be a part
So,
of
so
mentorship.
watch those first couple of videos, and then the next call will be on Wednesday night, and you'll be kind of caught up with what we've been doing. But tonight was really good for inviting because the assignment from Wednesday was to contact their top 10 list. And so that's what I was going through with John and with Ryan. So watch those first couple of videos, and then tonight will make a little bit more sense. And then for Wednesday night, guys, I mean, obviously, John, we talked about your situation. We were going to get through your list. And then Ryan, I would just tweak your list and then keep making the calls like you are. And then also, I think the other thing, Ryan, that you can work on between now and Wednesday is cleaning up your list. You're just making it fresh, retooling it, and then just starting over and going through those 10, and then give me an update on the new 10 on Wednesday night. And then John, get through your whole list now since you're feeling a little bit better.
Yep.
And then also use me, John, for your 3 ways.
Okay.
Okay.
The other quick question was,
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
was on from the inviting side. You mentioned like inviting people, like bad day for sports watchers, but
Sure.
what's been your experience as far as time frame ahead of time? Or does that vary person to
Yeah, I
person?
mean, look, I think you definitely don't want to go more than 48 hours out.
Sure.
If
Yeah,
you
that's
if
kind
you
of what I was.
invite longer than 48 hours, then a lot of things can happen, a
Yeah.
lot of distractions. So I think inviting within 48 hours, but definitely not like, I mean, last minute invites can sometimes be really good.
Yeah.
But I think tonight, Ryan's list, because it's a lot of coaches and sports guys, I think
Yeah.
because it was the last day of the Masters, it wasn't a good night to do last minute invites. Normally, I love last minute. I mean, I was inviting last minute up until last week's call. I wasn't tonight, but I was last week.
Sure.
I like last minute invites, but it's sometimes hit or miss. But you definitely don't want to go more than 48 hours out. So that also means that you want to make sure you're maximizing your inviting on Friday, Saturday for Sunday, and then Sunday for Monday, Tuesday, and so on and so forth. So you want to make sure you're starting in the weekend to start your week off strong.
Right. Yep. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Anything else, everybody? Okay, so the assignments for Wednesday are what I basically described for you guys individually. For those of you that just popped on, just catch up on videos 1 and 2. This video will be recorded and posted on my personal YouTube channel. So then there'll be all 3 videos there. This was video 3 in the new series. If you've got any new people on your team and you want to get them involved, try to have them watch these first 3 videos and then get them onto Wednesday night's call. And keep taking advantage of this. I mean, I'm going to keep mentoring you guys and working with you. So look forward to seeing your progress on Wednesday night. So work on the list and the things we talked about, and we'll meet again on Wednesday night.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Have a great night, everybody.
That's
You.
good.